If you're thinking of signing up for Monarch Money, you need to watch this review first. On the surface, it looks like the perfect all-in-one money app to finally master your finances. But after months of thoroughly testing it myself, I found a few hidden features that could save you hundreds, and some surprising downsides that you'll want to know before you commit. Let's start with who Monarch Money is actually built for, because this app isn't just for anyone trying to track a few expenses. It's really built for individuals and families who want one clean, modern place to manage everything: banking, credit cards, investments, and budgeting, all in one dashboard. It's perfect for people who want structure and clarity without the chaos. Compared to top competitors like Copilot, which focuses more on individual users and AI-driven insights, Monarch leans more into collaboration. Like if you're managing money with your spouse or partner, you'll love that it supports shared access. So you can both log in, you can set goals, you can track progress separately, and you can see your complete financial picture together. But you know what? All those are great features. They sound good, but don't just take my word for it. When you actually look at user reviews, the story becomes even clearer. Take this one user on Reddit, for example. He said he'd used nearly every budget app out there and found that Monarch works best for his needs. He specifically loved that he could have non-monthly budget categories. He compared it to YNAB and another popular app, and he said that YNAB forces you to budget all of your money, which he didn't want for his variable spending. For him, Monarch offered the flexibility that he needed. This Monarch budget app review from this user tells you everything. Monarch Money is for someone who wants flexibility and a modern design without giving up extra control. And yeah, honestly, that's something that I noticed right away too. You're not forced into one budgeting style. You get to shape it around your own habits, you know? So now that you know who Monarch Money is for, let's get into the specific features that make it so powerful and how they could actually save you hundreds of dollars. The first thing that hooked me was the account aggregation. So you get the most out of Monarch when you connect all of your financial accounts. We're talking your bank, your credit cards, your loan providers, and your investments, all syncing into one easy-to-access place. Now, a big question people have is Monarch Money safe? And this is where their approach to data providers is actually a really strong hidden aspect. So they don't rely on just one company to connect your bank. They use three different major providers: Plaid, Finicity, and MX. And why does this matter? Well, because if one provider is not able to connect reliably to your specific bank, you can just try another one. So this massively increases the chance that you can link all of your accounts all together and get that complete picture no matter where your account is. And once all of your accounts are linked, the real magic starts. So let's talk about the Cash Flow Sankey view. So this is one of those hidden features that sounds technical, but is incredibly simple and powerful at the same time. So this is an interactive diagram that shows you a river of your money. So basically, you get to see exactly where your income comes from and then where every dollar goes. And it visualizes your spending in this way that a simple list never could, and it really helps you understand it. So I found myself spotting leaks in my budget that I had completely actually missed for months because I saw where that money was going. So that right there is a feature that can save you hundreds of dollars by making waste impossible to ignore. And for couples, this is a game changer. You can share this Sankey diagram with your partner or your financial advisor to get on the same page as them. And for privacy, you can even share it with the dollar amounts hidden, and you can just show the visuals. One Redditor I saw mentioned that this Sankey diagram was one of their favorite features. He said that he liked the Monarch tools and everything else that they had to offer, but that this was one of their favorite tools. And he said that he liked what Mint had offered, but he liked Monarch's better analytics and collaboration. And again, he mentioned how refreshing it was to have no ads. So yeah, that's also something that's really simple, but it just adds to the overall user experience. Now, one of the biggest reasons people choose Monarch Money is the budgeting flexibility. You can do classic category budgeting where you assign a target to every single category. Or you can use what they call flex budgeting. This is perfect for people who have variable spending, like that person from before. So flex budgeting lets you create a high-level bucket for all of those unpredictable costs so that you're not constantly redoing your budget over and over again. Their cash flow page breaks down your spending by category, merchant, and over time. You can look at it by monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Like, this isn't just about budget, it's about your habits and how you organize your life. I used this to see that I was spending way more on takeout than I thought I was quarterly, and like I was eating more out on weekends, for example, which really helped me cut back and save a significant amount because I could plan ahead of that. So another feature that saves you time and money I want to talk about is recurring expense tracking. So Monarch automatically scans your transactions and detects your subscriptions and your bills, and then it puts them all on a calendar. So how many of us are paying for a subscription that we forgot about or that we're not even using and just kind of fell to the wayside? This feature helps you find and cancel those drains on your wallet that you're not really using. All right, now let's talk about one of Monarch's biggest strengths, and that's shared finances for couples. We mentioned it a few times, but this is one of its biggest features. So Monarch has basically a whole section built specifically for partners. You can both sync your accounts, you can see combined cash flow, and you can track your shared goals like saving for a house, paying off debt, or planning a vacation. One user on Reddit said that she loved being able to see all of her and her husband's accounts in one place, from Vanguard to Chase to Capital One. She even mentioned how easy it was to monitor their joint checking to make sure that their bills were covered and to keep tabs on savings for their wedding and their honeymoon. And then there's Retail Sync extension. So if you shop on Amazon, you know that a single order with 10 different items just shows up as one big Amazon charge in most apps because you're just ordering it from one website, right? So this extension is really brilliant, and when you add it on, it actually really helps you categorize and sort things. It syncs with your Amazon account and it splits your orders up, and it can categorize each item individually. So that one charge can correctly get split into home goods, electronics, gifts, linens. You can separate them more easily. You can have your spending data be much more accurate instead of all being lumped into this one pile. And it doesn't stop there. Monarch keeps rolling out new features, and they improve their tools, and they're trying to stay ahead of their competitors, so you can track them over time and see how they improve. Like, one of the features now is that you can track your credit score directly inside the app, so if you had another app for that, you can get rid of that one. This all helps you stay directly on top of your financial health and being aware of everything as part of your financial life. Another feature they've added recently is iPad support. They have better budget visuals. When Business Insider compared Monarch to a lot of the other best budgeting apps, they actually called it one of the most rich feature tools out there. They highlighted its ability to connect to over 13,000 institutions and create unlimited savings goals. So that's serious flexibility when you can set however many goals you want, you can connect to any institution you want. That can give you a lot of flexibility if you have a rare bank or a rare institution, or you want more flexibility. It's just a lot easier. I saw on Reddit this thread where a user posted a question and asked if Monarch Money was worth the money, right? He explained that he was a former Mint user who had switched to a spreadsheet and was now considering Monarch. And the responses to that were incredibly telling. One user straight up replied that it was worth it for sure, and he mentioned that he had also used Mint back in the day and said that Monarch Money is simply much better. He also highlighted a critical point for any budgeting app. He said he hadn't had any syncing issues, which is a huge deal, and they happen time to time for me. Haven't happened in Monarch yet, but they always happen. It's a syncing issue, right? Could be Wi-Fi, but he never experienced it. So there was this other user who gave a more detailed breakdown of his experience. He talked about how the app automated transactions for like 95% of his purchases after he set up his rules. He also had his investment accounts all linked for net worth tracking, and he was using the credit score feature too. His key takeaway was that it saved him hours each month on budget tracking compared to when he used a manual entry app like EveryDollar. Another user chimed in praising the organization and how fast the app loads. He admitted that he was terrible at staying within his budget for specific categories, but he was good at not overspending overall. For him, the best part was that moving leftover funds from one category over to another was really a breeze. But of course, no platform is perfect, right? No amount of tools, no amount of comments and praise is going to make any platform actually best for everyone. There are a few things that you have to be aware of before you commit to the Monarch Budget app. So in my deep dive into Monarch Money reviews, I came across a user who complained about being charged after he tried to cancel his subscription. He said that he notified them in writing, but he still saw a charge on his card. So that can understandably be frustrating for anyone, and it's something to watch out for, but it is incredibly rare, honestly, and it usually comes down to billing timing or an auto renewal overlap. And if it does come down to it, you can do a charge back on your card, but this is incredibly rare. I just did want to mention that I saw this guy had a problem like that. Monarch's support team has a really good reputation for resolving these kinds of issues quickly, and As a safety net, again, if that ever happens, go through your credit card provider for that chargeback. But from what I've seen, most users don't experience billing problems at all. And in my own experience, the platform has been stable and really useful, and it's been transparent about any charges and about anything that I need to know. When it comes to cost, Monarch Money is really reasonably priced for what it offers, especially when you consider the quality of the features, the ad-free experience, and the constant updates. If you want the most up-to-date pricing and any available discounts, check the link in the description below. We keep that updated so that you can take advantage of Monarch's current promo or trial and save the most money. So here's my final take on this Monarch Money review. If you're serious about finally getting a clear handle on all your finances all in one place, and you actually want an app that is private, it's flexible, and actually enjoyable to use, then Monarch Money is absolutely worth trying. Check the link in the description below to get started and see if it's the right fit for you.